Hey guys, happy Halloween and welcome to another update video. This is a video where I talk about what I'm currently reading and working on and stuff like that. But before I get into any of that, I did just want to do a little bit of a self-promotion kind of thing. Recently, one of the last videos that I put on this channel is a part of a new series that I'm going to be trying to work on a lot of in the near future. It is called Rhodes Reading. So it's going to be a series in which I read out loud to the camera short science fiction, fantasy, and horror stories that I find in various different collections. I have several different collections of short stories that I'm going to be trying to read from over the next coming months, and I have a lot of different stories that I've picked out already that I'm going to be trying to read from, and I'm really excited about it. This first one that I just posted was The Star by Arthur C. Clarke. It was in this book right here, The Big Book of Science Fiction. And I am really proud of the way it turned out. I thank you so much if you've already watched it, if you've already seen it and commented on it and let me know what you thought about it. I really appreciate that. But if you haven't, I know a lot of people probably saw it and just had no idea what it was. But now that you do know, I'm hoping maybe you'll give it a shot and go watch it. I sit there and read. I try to do a dramatic reading of a short story. This one specifically is a science fiction short story. And I try to, and in the series I'm going to try to put in little extra bits into it, make it a kind of an enhanced production where I put in like little animations or video clips or just things I've created along with different pieces of music over top of the whole thing that kind of go along with the feel, kind of try to give a certain tone and vibe to the whole thing. For this one specifically, for The Star, I created these the short like 10-second animations that all have to do with imagery that's presented inside the story, and I'm just really proud of the way it turned out, and I think I did an okay job of reading the story. For that first one, I did try and do a story that didn't have quite as much dialogue and was kind of on the short side, just to put something out there that was a little bit more practice-y than the ones I'm going to be trying to do in the future. There was one that I was hoping I would be able to do for Halloween, but I just didn't have enough time to do it. And we'll get to it eventually, though, so I'll be doing more of those very soon. Hopefully people continue to enjoy them, and like I said, I do hope you will go and watch it for me and tell me what you think. So anyway, to go over a couple things that are going to be coming out this week on my channel, I'm going to have a review of Warp by Lev Grossman out, and a review of The Ferryman Institute by Colin Geigel out, and a review of Everfair by Nisi Shaw out sometime in the next week or so. I just finished these two. I'll also have another review coming out this week for an audiobook that I listen to, but I'll talk more about that in a second. So the two books that I'm going to be trying to read, the two physical books that I'm going to be trying to read this week, this one I just started is called Dead Souls by J. Lincoln Fenn. This is a book about a girl who she meets this guy who claims to be the devil, and this devil figure offers her a wish kind of thing, and in exchange for a favor that she will have to make good on at some point, and she kind of becomes a part of this group of people who have also promised a favor to the devil in exchange for a wish. And I'm barely into it yet, so I don't really have much to say on it yet, but I'm going to be doing a full review of this when I do finish it. I'm also this week going to be reading The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington. This is an epic fantasy story that I am extremely excited about reading. I really hope I enjoy it. It's been compared constantly to Brandon Sanderson and Patrick Rothfuss and Robert Jordan and stuff like that, and I'm very much looking forward to giving it a shot, and hopefully it's good. I've heard some good things about it, and I'm also doing a full review of that. It doesn't actually come out until like November 8th, I think. So I'll be trying to post a review around the time that it comes out. And then along with that, I'm going to be listening to a couple audiobooks this week. I'm going to be trying to finish an audiobook that I started a few days ago called Music and the Brain, which is produced by The Great Courses. And I listened to another one called The Science of Energy, Great Courses produced audiobook called The Science of Energy last week, and enjoyed it. And it's kind of like, it's just like a series of lectures on this topic. So it's a series, this one is a series of lectures on music and how it's related to psychology and mechanisms in the brain, how we perceive music, how music has evolved for us, and how our understanding of music is shaped by just the inherent nature of our brains, how it's shaped by culture and history, and it's really interesting so far. I'm going to be finishing that probably today, and then right after that I'm going to be listening to the sequel to a book that I listened to last week. This is the review as I just mentioned, that I'm going to be posting this week. The first book was called Free the Darkness, and the second book is called Reign of Madness, and they're both by Kel Cade, and they're part of a series called King's Dark Tidings. Now, this is a series that was originally self-published and was picked up by Podium Publishing to be used as an audiobook, and the audiobook is narrated by the guy who narrates The Name of the Wind. His name is Nick Podell, and it is an amazing audiobook. The books themselves do have some problems, some issues that I talk about in my review, but overall they're a ton of fun. This first one was a ton of fun, and I'm really excited to listen to the second one. I really enjoyed the first one and also really enjoyed making a review for it, so please look out for that review and take a look at it if you get the chance when it comes out, because I go into detail about it and why I think people should give it a shot. And then after that, I'm going to be listening to The Dragons of Dorcastle by Jack Campbell, and this is actually a series. This is a series called The Pillars of Reality. It's a fantasy series, and I think it was actually written for Audible, which is very interesting. It was actually written specifically to become an audiobook, and I find that just to be a strange idea, and I'm looking forward to seeing what it's all about. It has some pretty good reviews on Audible. It's been listened to quite a lot on Audible, and it's a whole series. There's 4 or 5 books out already, and it was mostly actually just a cover buy. I saw the cover and really found myself interested in giving it a shot. And then along with those things that I'm listening to, this is kind of a segue, I'm also probably going to be listening a lot this week to the podcast Writing Excuses, which is put on by Brandon Sanderson, Mary Robinette Cole, who wrote Shades of Milk and Honey and Ghost Talkers, which I just did a review of, and Dan Wells and Howard Taylor. This is the group of authors that talk every week about writing, and the reason I'm doing that is because they are inspiring me so much where writing is concerned, and that's a good thing because NaNoWriMo starts tomorrow, and I feel prepared, sort of. I feel mostly prepared. I've been working on preparing myself for the past 2 months, so hopefully I am actually prepared to go into it. I have my 2 folders here, my 2 journals here that I've been using for my planning and outlining and stuff like that. So this has all my world building and chapter planning in it. So each of these pages is a chapter. I think I've actually only outlined 2/3 of the book. I think I've outlined about 20 chapters, and I think where I am in the story, I'm going to have about 10 more chapters left to outline. Although I don't think I'm going to be able to finish those 20 chapters during NaNoWriMo. I think they'll go way over 50,000 words. So I seriously doubt that'll be finished by the end of the month. I seriously doubt I'll be anywhere near close to done with the book by the end of the month, but I'm going to try at the very least to complete NaNoWriMo and get to that 50,000 words. So each page in this little folder is a chapter, and what I do is I outline a series of events that I would like to happen in each chapter, and then along with that, I try not to do it too strictly. I try to just put the different events I would like to hit, the different points and different conflicts I would like to hit in each chapter. And then underneath that, I put down a bunch of notes I have on the chapter, things that I would like to be mentioned, things that the characters might be thinking of, things that might need to come up in the story at that point in time to kind of get in all the world building, get in all of the different backstories that need to be happening. There's a few different plots that are kind of weaving in and out of each other that I'm just really excited about it. I'm really looking forward to NaNoWriMo starting tomorrow. I will do my best to let you guys know how it's going. If you're interested, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm probably going to be trying to post my word counts every single day, regardless of whether I hit the word count I'm supposed to be hitting or not. I'm going to try to post my word count every day on there, so feel free to follow me on there. And I'll let you know in a week in my next currently reading and writing update what word count I'm at that point. And you can also follow me on my NaNoWriMo writing page. There's a link to that in the description. And if you haven't already added me as a writing buddy on there, if you are also participating in NaNoWriMo, I would absolutely love to follow your progress as well. Last time that I did NaNoWriMo, I found it so inspiring to follow other people's writing progress and to kind of try and keep up with them. It's so much fun to keep up with the people that are also writing for NaNoWriMo. So if you haven't added me yet and you're doing NaNoWriMo, please click on my link down below and add me. Also, this is the journal that I'm going to be writing, the notebook that I'm going to be writing my book in. I like to handwrite, and so I'm going to be doing my first draft handwritten, which I think people generally find to be odd, but I very much enjoy. It's how I very much prefer to write, is handwrite. So this is a 400-page notebook, and the pages actually don't have margins at all, which makes them the same width as a normal piece of paper, and they actually has the same amount of lines. So it looks smaller than a normal piece of paper, but in reality, it's the same width and it has the same amount of lines. And I have very small handwriting, so it's going to fit in perfectly with this. So I'm excited to have this, and I'm excited to see how other people are doing with their writing as well. So I think that's pretty much it for this currently at reading and writing update. Have a good week yourselves, a good reading and writing week, especially if you're doing NaNoWriMo. And definitely let me know any thoughts you have on any of the books that I shared with you today. Let me know any thoughts you might have on NaNoWriMo, on how prepared you feel for it starting tomorrow. I'd love to hear about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you later with more.